Whether we choose to be healthy within our challenges is a choice. Health becomes a continuous process working towards your betterment. As you work towards your own health, you increase your capacity to be better with your body every single day. Capacity building becomes one more way to look at health rather than the end results of a healthy body. Capacity building is a very important step and perspective to be understood if we want to play the long term game vis a vis our health. So, whether I'm able to build my capacity at various levels, physically, mentally, emotionally, through nervous system, through lifestyle changes, multiple facets of my life, I need to build my capacity. Capacity building is an exercise in health. This is something that start the new year with. Health is not the end goal, but capacity building is. Once you switch your point of view to capacity building, there is no end to it. Then if you are, say, level 0, you build a capacity to level 10. If you are at level 10, build it to level 20, keep improving. So there is no end to how much you can improve with your body or mind. The approach we take to get better and build our capacity changes with my age, changes with my current circumstances in life, can slow down a little, can speed up a little, but the progress may not be linear over time, 3 months, 6 months, a year or two. There will be a continuous upward trajectory. If you take a long term view, you may have ups and downs. So, if you keep capacity building at the center of your health and wellness discussion, you will never be dissatisfied. You just need to get a little better only from the previous day or the previous month to know that you are on the right track. Capacity building. 5 areas. Physical capacity. Physical capacity can be seen in terms of one's strength. Say you try to learn push ups and you know that you are unable to do push ups right now. Gradually, you build your strength so that you can do your first push up and then add a set of push ups, and then you can add multiple set of push ups. So that there's a clear trajectory. Whenever we are talking about strength, you will see that physical strength you can measure or you can see very easily. However, there are other aspects of our physical health, say digestion. Now, if I'm someone who is regularly eating, say 20 to 30 grams of protein in a day, I know that I should be eating 80 to 100 grams of protein in a day. Capacity building. This we have discussed in detail last year, that if I want to increase protein intake, I must prepare my body to handle that increased amount of protein. Generally, what people do, they are at a protein deficient diet, they get motivated, they switch to a protein rich diet and reach to a point which is like you have eaten around 20 to 30 grams of protein for 30, 40 years, and suddenly you are trying to come to a point where you are eating 50 to 60 grams of protein every single day, higher than what you have done. Then you feel bloated, uneasy with the amount of protein you have taken. It's not the protein that is causing you problem. It's just that you do not have the capacity to handle that much protein at this current moment. So you build your capacity, your physical capacity to digest protein to that level, and that's how you build your capacity. So that's one way to look at building physical capacity. Diet, it is very important to build your capacity to what your ideal diet should be. Diet is multifaceted. Diet is physical in nature, diet is emotional in nature, diet is mental in nature. And emotional eating, we get involved in that. Stress eating is a reality. These are all emotional aspects that provoke me to eat. Then there is mental aspect, my boredom. It is not an extreme emotion, but boredom. dullness, repetitive environment. These are all things which are pulling me down mentally and push me towards eating junk. I cannot break away from my mental capacity to feel bored and reach out for a snack. Build your capacity to handle boredom, which will help you avoid high salt or high sugar items. Similarly, when stressed or experiencing heightened emotion, you want to reach out for comfort food. Now, that comfort food, that ability to delink emotions and eating, is a capacity that you build. So when you start out on that journey, you will not be able to articulate it clearly that this is my emotion and that's why I'm eating. So that articulation will come. And then once that articulation come, that because of this particular emotion I'm eating, then you will learn how to handle the emotion and delink it with food. That's capacity building. So for the first 3 months, you are experimenting at delinking your emotion and your food. You may succeed for 60% of the time, and 40% may be failure. As you keep understanding the hold these emotions have on you, you will be able to delink it better. Over a period of a year or so, you will master this skill. Physical capacity. Strength is a physical trait that can be very easily seen and measured, and we gradually grow into it. Digestion, another physical trait, we must respect that more. Some of us I have seen wants to switch from non-vegetarian diet to a vegetarian diet, or vegetarians wanting to go the vegan route. When I'm switching diets which are not my diet from my childhood, I need to give it time. I cannot switch it. There has to be a capacity building. Here, what kind of capacity comes into play? The gut microbiome needs to change because of the kind of food I am going to supply. I have provided it with a non vegetarian diet. The gut microbiome has developed in a certain manner. Now I will switch to a vegetarian diet. The gut has to be given time to switch. Sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes it takes months, and it can take up to a year to transition from a non-vegetarian to a vegetarian diet. When you are younger, you recover faster from exercise. When you are older, you take time to recover. Now, the more I train my body, the more I am disciplined with my food and my sleep and my emotion, my recovery time is less. My recovery time, I'm 43 years old now. I want my recovery to be that of a 19-year-old. To have that recovery, which is fast, quick, and can handle rigor on the body at an adult age, I need to prepare my body accordingly. That preparation builds habit and helps you recover faster. There is a method by which you train for recovery as well. That is what you call capacity building for recovery. These are ways, capacity building, stretching, movement. These are physical traits. Physical capacity can improve at all ages. Whether you are 8 or 18-year old, every facet of your body can be improved. When we get older, all improvements take more time. It is wrong to think that we cannot build muscles at an older age, or we should not look at building muscles at an older age. If I want to grow strength, grow in muscle mass, progress can be slow, but progress will be definitive even if I am old. Physical changes are the easiest to make. With age, they can take a little longer. Any inputs on physical capacity building?
Improvement can happen at a different pace depending on our age.
Yeah.
Isn't it a fact that once we age, it'll never be as good as when we were younger? Like a 35-year-old or a 40-year-old woman or man starting his journey today,
Yeah.
how much he or she can improve, can it ever be compared to somebody who is at 18 who's starting, or can that be usurped with the sincerity that one shows?
Yes, it can be. You can be a healthier 40-year-old compared to a regular 18-year-old.
What if the journey was started earlier, like bone degeneration বা muscle degeneration, এটা কি reverse করা যায় is what you're
Bone and muscle degeneration can be reversed by effort.
very hopeful, sir. Thank you.
It is a scientific fact. We do not complete the sentence when we say there is bone degeneration or muscle loss after 35, after 40 years. It is a fact that there is a muscle loss and a drop in bone density. But as we age, our physical activities also go down. If I maintain or improve my activity levels, if I were to eat properly, and if I were to train in a manner where there is a progressive overload on my body, then there is no reason why I will lose muscle or I will lose bone density. Not only I will first stop the degeneration, I will grow muscles. It's just that I cannot grow at the same rate like a 18-year-old, but nevertheless I will be growing.
Thank you, sir.
100%. How old is your mother?
66. She's not falling anymore. She used to
No,
fall every winter.
at 66, she can build muscles.
Mm.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Not even talking about us who are in 40s. You may be in your 30s and saying, if
Mm.
she decides she can build muscle.
My question regarding recovery. What is the role of cross training in recovery? One day yoga, other day cycling or swimming. Did
Yes.
that help, or what is the
I'm
role
a,
of cross training?
I'm a firm believer that body must be utilized in multiple ways. Okay. And yoga, say you have the time and opportunity to explore multiple activities, swimming, cycling, walking, yoga. You must max it out because all the activities that you are taking part in, they are not jarring to the body. Okay. And if you provide your body with different kind of challenges, then the neural pathways that develop due to exercise are also new and fresh. So not only from your physical body perspective, but from a point of view of brain health, providing your body with multiple challenges is a very good idea. I think it's a very good thing to utilize your body with as many ways as possible. Now, if you do not have the opportunity to engage in multiple activities, then you should look for an activity which challenges your body in multiple ways. I think yoga is one of the better things to do at an adult age because it challenges your body differently every single time. The deeper you go into the practice, you can utilize different muscles within the same pose that you have done before. Yoga in isolation gives you a better opportunity than other forms of exercise to utilize your body in different ways. If you have an opportunity to engage with other activities, it's a full 100% plus.
Thank you.
Now, because you said what should be the approach? Do I go for multiple activities or a single activity? When is single activity better? Say, for example, I want to learn handstand. I need training which builds my capacity to do the handstand. For splits, you get training for splits and over again you do that. If you are into martial arts and you want to learn how to kick, repeat one single kick 100 times over, you get better with that kick. So whenever there is a skill involved that you want to excel at, repetitions matter. But if you are doing it for your health, variety is more beneficial. Skill based training is different from training for health, physical capacity building. Second is mental capacity building. Say, for example, my ability to handle uncertainty, my ability to handle repetitions, my ability to handle stress, my ability to be more adaptable in mind. These are things you can get better at with training. And if you make an concentrated attempt at building capacities, first of all, defining a problem or a mental trait and getting better with that mental trait over time, it is very much possible. These are all mental traits that we need to get better with, because these are handling uncertainty, stress, repetition, boredom, depression, anxiety, anger, jealousy, handling situations which are not totally under my control but impact me thoroughly is a very important thing to learn. That is where mental adaptability comes. We all went through a very difficult time during pandemic. Some of us handled it better than others. Those who were, and none of had everything under control. As a humanity, we face similar challenges. And as human beings, we could see some of us handling some of the situations better than other. This is where your mental adaptability came into picture. If you are mentally adaptable, even an extreme situation like a lockdown, you will fight your way through that, or you will find a way to be alive rather than getting stressed out. Mental capacity building is the second trait that we should look at. Mental capacity building also comes out as discipline, also comes out as consistency. So if I'm looking at from an physical health perspective, so much of my physical health depends upon my mental traits of focus, discipline, consistency, willpower, and understanding. These are all mental traits that I need to build. If I do not build my capacity to be consistent, no matter how much I desire to get better with my body, I cannot. Consistency as an idea is very simple, but one of the most difficult things to execute. If I do not have the understanding to begin with, I will be very happy for the first 4 days of anything that I am doing. And when the initial euphoria dies down, my desire to be disciplined will vanish. These are all mental traits, and you need to get better with it. Why in repeating this idea of mental trait is because we behave as if inside us there is a switch. Today I have been eating in a particular manner, and tomorrow onwards I will be a totally different person. This mental on off switch of behavior is not available to us. If I decide to be better with my body, better with my habits, I may be good for the next couple of days, but then my older habits will catch up. So, if I am someone who is looking at building mental capacity, then every failure that I have will be noted down, but will not crush me or make me feel weak. I know it is part of the process. I'm only getting better. So, last 3 days, I was better than the previous 3 days. I had a drop today. My capacity to bounce back will determine whether my mental capacity has improved. Emotional capacity, that's another one. How do you measure emotional capacity? If my life is run by my emotions, like how I feel, today I should exercise. Today I go out and eat. Today I stay up all night, binge watch, or sleep on time. I'm compromising consistency and discipline at the altar of how I feel. If I have not mastered delinking how I feel and how I behave, I will never be a person who is able to keep a promise to himself. If I am not a person who can keep a promise to himself, then I become a person who lacks trust in his own ability to execute anything successfully. My confidence goes for a toss if I have decided that I will wake up at 6 a.m. Nobody asks me to wake up at 6 a.m. but it is a promise that I keep. I want to wake up at 6 a.m. A promise to myself. If I can keep that promise, I raise myself in my own eyes that I am capable of keeping a promise to myself. If it is waking up at 6 a.m., I may be able to do slightly more complex and then slightly more difficult tasks that I am doing for myself. I have nothing to gain from that. No money, no appreciation. Nobody is saying, wow, you have done great by waking up at 6 o'clock. Whether I wake up at 6 or 7 is my own thing. I do not get anything material out of it. That kind of promise of self improvement builds confidence. Then you have delinked emotions and personal growth. For consistency, you have to build your capacity to be emotionally stable. How do you know you have become emotionally stable? When your feelings don't overrun your behavior. That's the third capacity to be built. Do your emotions run your life? If every meal, every act, whole day is run by your emotions, you can gradually move towards a better delinking, not a on-off switch. Now, nervous system's capacity to switch between effort and rest. That's another very important trait to build. This is something I truly believe in, that a person who does not know how to relax cannot actually be productive consistently. My capacity to move in with full force when I am taking effort depends upon how properly I have rested. So, rest and effort go together. There are so many times in life where just do not I do not have the capacity to stop my mental chatter. I want to stop, but I am unable to because I want to take effort every moment I am awake. Effort and rest should go hand in hand. That's where your relaxation of nerves come into play. This is something to be learned, a capacity to be built. You need to appreciate the importance of rest. For full effort, rest is mandatory. The person who can switch smoothly has mastered his nervous system. Last area we can focus on capacity building is my lifestyle related changes that requires focus, that requires changes, but I am unable to bring changes right from the onset. Also, capacity building is required. So, physical capacity, mental capacity, emotional capacity, nervous systems capacity, and lifestyle changes and capacity to bring about changes in lifestyle. These are 5 areas where we can do proper, concentrated capacity building. If we do that, then we get a body and mind peace. Questions, remarks, please. Was I clear with the 5 areas?
Yes, sir.
Now, let's look at the 7 pillars we were talking about. The 7 pillars of wellness revolved around physical state, our diet, our breath, capacity to rest, which is sleep and rest both. Then we had 3 intangibles in terms of joy, the purpose, the human connect, and the emotional stability that we can execute. So let's first look at the 4 things. Physical capacity is linked with physical wellness aspect. Nutritional capacity is linked with the physical nutritional health. That pillar of wellness is very much linked with the physical capacity. We missed out on listing my capacity of my lungs to breathe in more air can also be increased in a very systematic manner. So that pillar we did not touch upon. That's physical aspect as well as mental aspect. Because breath, if you want to breathe deep, you must learn how to relax. Not only while breathing, but overall breath control can be learned, and its capacity increase your capacity to take in more oxygen can physically improve if you are practicing breathing exercise. So that's another area where my capacity can improve. It is under fall under the physical capacity. Also, if I'm less stressed, less anxious, if I'm building my mental capacity to engage with my life constructively, that will also result in me breathing properly. So that's another area to focus and build capacity on. Last thing that I will conclude with today is that if you are trying to build capacity, do not try to look for big ticket changes. Small little things matter more. For example, if you want to bring about change in your physical strength, little things, little acts of building strength matter more than just engaging with a big idea that I will do a strength training workout for 3 days. Instead of doing 3 4 hours of strength training, do push-ups every single day, no matter what. Then you are building your capacity nevertheless. If you have time, you can dedicate 3 hours and go pick up your task of push-up for 5 to 8 minutes every day. Consistent effort matters more than larger efforts sporadically. Every effort matters to the body. Like every misstep or mistreatment done or meted out to the body is recorded. Similarly, everything that you do good for the body is also recorded. Little things matter, small movements, drink water, sleep on time, eat healthy. Every single act matters. The body remembers mistreatment, then body will also remember how you have treated it well. Start with small changes, don't go for big changes. Anything that you want to do or any change that you want to bring about, less concentrated, less effort, less intense, but more consistent. Low effort for a longer period brings greater benefit than intense effort at the onset and not doing much. Consistent, low degree of effort, but consistent effort. All right. Any closing words from anyone before we call it a day? Thank you then. I hope this was worth your while. Please remember to build some sort of capacity which is measurable. Give a time frame and track of what kind of effort you are making towards building a capacity, strength, digestion, or mental capacity. Measure it. If it is a measurable trait, that will give you a lot of confidence. So try and do that. Yes, Chunilalji.
We can say that interpersonal relation, human remembers good treatment or bad treatment. Like that, body also do that. Good
Yeah,
treatment and bad.
human beings can forgive also, but body has not.
Body is not forgiving.
Body can respond. It can change. It can definitely change. Like I've, if so, last few days we have had a lot of queries because it is New Year and people wanting to enroll, etc. Those between 50 and 60 years think they are about to wind up their body as if it is a time now they are about to, they are at the last part of their life. They are not very melodramatic, but want to do with least effort. Even if you are 60 years old, there is a good probability you will live around 80, 85 years. You have 20 to 30 years in front of you, even if you are in your 60s. That's the kind of life expectancy we have reached today. So even if you have a good amount of time to live, why not take the effort to improve your condition? Why say now I'm old and what's the point of taking? Can I take effort? They're apologetic about doing a class as if it's a waste of time. Live for a while. So we must try to make sure that we are improving in body, and it is very much possible.